You are moving towards the top of the world. You are on fire as an entrepreneurial nation. As a participant in an entrepreneurial nation who was on fire, and I would say is no longer on fire, be cognizant of becoming complacent and happy. What tends to happen in some really successful economies is that people are, good. I'm good. How are you doing? You good? Yeah, it's all good. What are you doing this afternoon? I think I'm going to go out and play some golf. How about you? No, I'm going to take a cruise. I'm going to go for a while. And so you become successful and happy, and you lose that drive and that passion. It's probably not the people in this room or this generation, but it's probably the next generation or the one after that, that's a real possibility. And so my advice is hold on to this passion as much as possible, because it will serve you well in BNI, and I think it will serve you well as a nation, because India is on fire right now. I think it's just amazing. I think other countries, it's a wake-up call, and some of them are answering that wake-up call, and others are fighting that wake-up. Others are putting pillows over their head because they don't want to hear it. But overall, it's good. Oh, there is one other point I want to make. Truly, truly successful people, in my opinion, are humble about their success. And India has been humble and excited about their success, because there's one important thing to remember. And really successful people, you hear them say this all the time. I am where I am today because I stood on the shoulders of giants. There were people and there were countries that made every mistake you can think of in BNI. And when it got figured out, many other countries came on board. And they not only followed that, they improved that. And I think that's where India is. They came on board when a lot of the mistakes have been made. The timing is perfect for you. I think you're going to continue to do well. And I tell countries like the United States, which I think is consistent, you can turn this around. You know, the great thing about our program is that they are standing on our shoulders, but we can also stand on their shoulders. We can learn from them, and we can improve. Does that answer your question, all right?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good evening, Ivan.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. See, there is a situation, most of the chapters might have faced this. Suppose there are a few members who have problems amongst each other. They don't want to look eye to eye. You know, at a point it becomes too much for a few members. One fine day he decides, okay, I want to leave the organization. And then few members think, okay, it is not fair that this guy is leaving because of some other issue, wherein that member is still sitting in the chapter. So two other people want to leave with him. So how would you handle that kind of situation wherein the MC committee is already, suppose there is an issue, and MC committee is already given a letter, but the other members feel that that's not justice. I mean, that member should have left, but then he's still there, so I'm going to leave.
So you have to get the membership committee to take action, and maybe the proper action is in the letter. You want to scale a company, and I'm pretty positive I did not say this in the webinar that I did for India. One of the ways to scale a business is to delegate. But here's where delegation goes wrong. People delegate responsibility. They delegate responsibility but not authority. My mic keeps going in and out, sorry. They delegate responsibility but not authority. That is, you're responsible for this, but if you do something I don't like, then I'm going to step in and do something about it. And that's not the way to delegate. Now, when you're delegating to a learner, you say, I'm going to delegate this to you. Anything over this, you got to come to me on. Or any problem outside this context, you got to come to me on. And as they become learners, then the delegation is, look, you just handle it. If you feel you need to come to me, you come to me. Then you have reached the point of delegating responsibility and authority. It's the only way long-term scalability is possible in a business. I tell you that because you have to allow the membership committee to make some mistakes. You cannot allow members, you can't, I don't want to tell you what you can or can't do. Those members, hopefully, will understand that the membership committee is made up of people and that they need to learn the process as well. At the same time, the membership committee needs to understand that it's their responsibility to maintain the quality of the chapter. And if this person is not doing a good job, they need to not just get a letter, maybe be put on probation. And so it's this balancing act. The devil is always in the details. And I'll tell you, you could tell me everything. Here's the beauty about working with people. You could tell me everything you believe to be true. And this has happened to me more times than I can count. Everything that you believe to be true. And then at the end of that conversation, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's horrible. I can't believe they're doing that. And so then I go over to the other person and I say, so why are you guys doing this? And they go, whoa, 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 whoa. It didn't quite happen that way. It happened like this. And then I go, are you kidding me? He told me it happened like, so what you get is, he said, she said. You get this, there's three sides to every issue. You know, there's the left, the right, and there's the real thing in between, right? So tell these people that are being impatient, follow the system. Work with the membership committee. You want to be a really good member, you want to be a good human, go to the membership committee and really explain to them why this is a serious problem, why you think that this hasn't been solved to your satisfaction. And then let them make mistakes. Gosh, I let people make mistakes all the time. I tell them I don't agree with them, but I let them make the mistake. You'll never learn. You'll never learn if you can't make mistakes. So that's the long view on the problem. I don't know if that helps. Oh, here's one other thing. Go immediately to your senior director, executive director, or national director, and explain the problem, and that director will give you the time necessary to hear some of the details to help you through it. Okay?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Next question.
Happy evening, Ivan.
Hi.
I am Rajesh Kumar, representing Excellence Chapter from Visakhapatnam region. Let me introduce to you a case study where there is a member, okay, who is giving good performance in terms of referrals or one-to-ones and everything, who has done his role as a good coordinator and even as a good membership committee member, and continuously failing of getting business for himself where his average referral value is not more than around 20,000 Indian bucks.
Okay, let me stop you there. I got it up to a point. There's a really good member who's good about getting business for himself.
Yes, for himself.
And then?
And then, is this his problem or the chapter's problem of giving him business?
Giving him business.
Whose failure is that?
Yeah. Okay, again, the devil's always in the details. For example, I mean, here's what I mean by that. You could be talking about yourself and setting me up in some way, or you may not be.
It's not regarding me.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's about my friend.
The devil is always in the details. And by the way, you wouldn't be the first person who stood up and asked a question as though it were a third-person issue and it was really them. So it's important to work with an executive director on this to make sure that the details are understood. Here's a general or generic answer. It could absolutely be both. I would argue that more often than not, it's the individual member's fault. And that's an answer they won't want to hear. They do not want to hear that. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't say it to them that way. Here's how I've said it to people. You're not getting the kind of referrals that you want, right? Right. You'd like to get more, right? Right. They're just not giving you any. Right. Maybe you need to change up the way you're presenting yourself in the chapter. And then I can tell you exactly what their next answer is. It's always the same. Oh, you don't understand. I do this and I do that and I've done this and this and this and this and this. And I let them tell them all. Tell me everything you've done. And then I say this. Based on results, how's that working out for you? And that just stops them cold. It's like, well, it's not. Okay, so maybe you need to try some different things. Are you open to some ideas on what you can do differently? And then you have that dialogue about what they can do differently. Almost all the time it's the individual. One way or another, Sometimes it's the individual, they're obnoxious as could be and nobody wants to do business with them, but they don't know it. They don't know they're obnoxious. Sometimes they're just not doing a good job of explaining how to refer them. I would say 70% of the time, that's it. They're just not doing a good job of explaining how to refer them. So you got to get into their head a little bit. You got to get some of the details, and you got to get an executive director to help you with it. Does that help a little?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Asif, a restaurateur from Chapter Lords. My question is, as you mentioned earlier, that India's ratio is much higher in the chapter size. What, according to you, is the optimum size of a chapter should be? Is it like good to have 100 plus?
That's a tough question because we have chapters of 100 plus here. So, you know, my answer to that question has changed over the years because I have seen my paradigm has shifted as to what's possible in BNI. I think that a chapter begins to really reach its potential at about 50 members. Now, does that mean that's their optimum? I don't think so. I mean, I'm seeing chapters of 70, 80, 100 members that are doing incredibly well. So I don't know what the cap is. I can tell you where things really start to come together in an unbelievable way, and that's at about 50 members. So I think chapters should be striving to hit that 50 member mark or more. And remember that there's turnover in a chapter. That the last time we did a survey on this, we found that 20% of all members in a chapter will leave, on average, for reasons that the chapter can't control, that the chapter has no control over. Things like a health problem, retirement, they're moving, they've changed careers, any number of things that the chapter has no control over whatsoever. 20%. So that means that a chapter of 50 members could be 40 members at the end of the year if they're not continuing to bring in new members. So I don't say stop at 50, but I say that's probably where it really starts to come together. And I'm incredibly proud of those chapters that are 70, 80, 90, 100 members.
But how much should be a healthy figure?
You're not going to get a different answer out of me. I think it really starts to come together at 50 members, and I've seen chapters of 100 plus that are awesome. So I wouldn't say no to either of those sizes. Okay?
Right, thank you.
A very good evening, sir. Yeah. And I convey warm greetings on behalf of my chapter. I'm Deepak Shrimar from Eden chapter. My question to you, sir, is how do you feel about how we can grow business across the regions, like amongst BNI chapters, across regions or maybe across countries?
Okay, I'm going to have you repeat that question for me, but we're almost out of time. So the gentleman at the end, raise your hand. At the very end of the line, raise your hand. Great. Don't let anyone else behind you. Okay? That's got to be the last one because we're almost out of time. Yeah. Give me that question one more time.
How do you feel we can grow business amongst BNI chapters across region or maybe across countries?
So look, I've got some ideas on that. One is the use of BNI Connect, but my answer to that would be long and not as good as Mac's answer to that. Mac is really working extensively on finding business, particularly in India, to outside countries. He's really doing an amazing job of that. So I would urge you to sit down with Mac, and Mac, maybe you can write something up that you can distribute, because Mac, I've been listening to his answers with the media and in talking to members, and the truth is, his answer's like way better than mine. So I would talk to him about what he has in mind. Know that it is our absolute goal to make that happen. We want you to be a local business and have a global network, and to be able to connect with businesses all over the world. Did you want to say something on that, Mac?
Yeah, I'm going to be speaking in my segment. In the next session, I'm going to talk.
Okay, there you go. He's going to talk about it at the next session.
Okay,
all
great.
right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the woman behind you, thank you so much. Come on up. The last two questions.
Good evening, sir. I'm Sudakshina from Alliance chapter, and I'm into IT solutions. So actually the thing that amazes me about BNI is it's a worldwide organization, and it is working on the particular same principles all over the world and following the same principles and rules and regulations. Now, if a business wants to have a presence in a geographic diversified location, and the CEO is not working with the team, how important do you think that it is important actually for the CEO to be with the team in the same geographic location, or it can be with the different geographic locations? What can be the pros and cons?
I'm not following your question.
If the,
You said,
if a,
hang on.
yeah.
You said BNI is scaled and we're all across the
Yes.
world. And give me the next part.
If a business, now if the CEO is not in the same geographic locations with the team, how important do you think that the CEO needs to be with the team in the same geographic locations, or it can work?
I don't understand the connection between that question and BNI.
You're asking if the CEO
Yeah.
be in the same geographic location
With the team.
with the team where the
And how does, I'm not sure, is this a general
For a-
business question? Because I don't
Yes,
see a
for
BNI
a,
connection.
yeah, for a business to work, yeah.
Yeah. So, look, I have an opinion. This is a general business question, not a BNI question, which is
Yes.
fine. I have an opinion, but again, the devil is always in the details. And so there's probably details that I don't know of. I don't think a CEO needs to be in the exact same location as the entire team because it's not possible. If you have a global organization, it's just not possible. I wish it were possible. A good referral for me, I'm no longer the CEO, but a good referral for me would be a cloning clinic. You know, someone who could clone me and put me around. And so it's just not possible for a CEO to be be working with the entire team on a regular basis. They've got to be spread around. And a good CEO shouldn't be in the office all the time. They should be out meeting with their people all around the world. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, she says with hesitance. Thanks.
Good evening, Ivan. I am Mahesh Shuttle from Visakhapatnam region, Diamond chapter. I have a peculiar problem. I have a builder in my chapter who keep asking for a land development, and a member refer him where he is able to get land for development. Now, where does that thank you note goes to?
Who does the thank you for closed business go to?
Yeah. See, the builder has asked for a land, and a member has referred him a land for development. Now, there is a business in the chapter.
Yeah. This is another one of those detailed questions that you need to have this conversation with the executive director and walk through step by step. Now, I can tell you that sometimes people will share the referral. You know, I took half the responsibility, she took half the responsibility, so we share it. Sometimes people want to take responsibility and it's not theirs. You need to know I could give you an answer and it could be completely wrong unless I know all the details. So unfortunately, that's the best I can give you. Did you have something you wanted to add to that?
Pardon?
In the back?
Yeah.
No.
So I think what he wants to ask is that he has been referred to buy a land. So builder has actually purchased a land.
No,
Builder has purchased a land.
land for development.
Yes, builder has purchased the land for development. So in this purchase transaction, whether there would be a thank you slip, This is what his question is, right?
Do you understand the question, Mac?
Okay. So there is a builder who buys land and develop building and sells flat.
Yes.
Okay, I am the executive director for this. I am the executive director for that region. See, the question here is very simple. They're asking, the builder is into a construction business where he builds the apartments. He gets a referral from the member of a land where he'll go and take the land and build an apartment. Here in India, what happens